Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was supposed to come to you, but
Thank you, Matt. A couple of things in your response to Amira and to Sean on what happened last Thursday. You're saying that we've seen what desperate people needing food and so on. What could are you saying that the tragedy was the result of the stampede of people?
there's an investigation ongoing by the government of Israel. I know they've released a preliminary assessment, but there's a further investigation going on. But clearly, the reason all those people were out there in the first place at 4:30 in the morning, I think it's easy to lose sight of that. This is not in the middle of the day, it's 4:30 in the morning. And the reason that many people were out there was because they're so desperate for food and assistance. When aid trucks roll in, especially in the middle of the night, you shouldn't have to see people swarming them for aid. They should have confidence that that aid will be distributed, but they don't right now, and for good reason, because aid hasn't been getting there and they're desperate to feed their families.
Okay, but you don't doubt that the Israeli military fired on those people. That there were gunshots.
They have offered a public assessment of what's happened, and they said that they did fire in one context. We do not have any independent confirmation of how the actual events rolled out. I know that there are differing assessments and conflicting evidence about what happened, which is why we're going to wait the outcome of the investigation.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, as wonderful as it is to send in aid by airplanes, I mean, 38,000 meals, that's like 0.0717 to each one person. I mean, that's a very small amount. The best way, obviously, is via ground. And the U.S. can send in trucks. I don't think that the Israelis would shoot or would fire on, you know, American-controlled trailer trucks and so on.
So I think you number one are missing everything I just said, both in my opening comments and please don't interrupt, because I didn't interrupt you. About the fact that these airdrops are intended to supplement, not replace. And while they are insufficient by themselves, they are still important and will provide meals to people who otherwise did not have them. So we do feel they meet a critical need, and we will continue them. But that does not change the fundamental underlying issue, which is we do need to get more aid in through land delivery and potentially through sea delivery, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. First of all, I'm not dismissing the value of that. In fact, I asked that question last week if the U.S. would do something like this. Nor was I interrupting you. I'm just saying I realize that it's it's an effort, but it's a very small effort. There are other ways, and even by sea. I mean, I understand the U.S. military has these wonderful causeways. They can roll things in. You don't have to have a harbor and so on. But that is still inefficient. I mean, it's the United States and Egypt and so on. If there is a political decision, to ensure, I mean, to basically force Israel to allow trucks in, I believe that they will prevail. You don't think that the U.S. can prevail if it pressures Israel to allow these trucks in?
We are making clear that more trucks need to come in from the senior-most levels of this government.
Okay, a couple more questions. Of course, I think it was raised that there's something like 15 children that have already died of starvation in Gaza, and there seems to be maybe hundreds more in the coming days and so on. So the situation is very, very desperate. Let me ask you about UNRWA. Have you arrived at a decision on continuing aid or resuming aid to UNRWA?
We have made clear that we are going to make that determination at the conclusion of the 2 investigations the UN is conducting with respect to UNRWA. Neither of those investigations has concluded at this point.
Do you have any calendar or timetable on this? Because the people in UNRWA are saying that the situation is horrible.
It's a question you should direct to the UN about how long those 2 investigations will take.
But you are not demanding that the UN, sort of speed up the process?
I think it's in the UN's interest that the investigations be completed as soon as possible. I'm sure that they're well aware of that.
And